Moshood Abiola National Stadium. We're actually marching to the Eagle Square, of course the venue where the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory had yesterday said he has not given any approval for the use of that facility. The attempt by security operatives to restrict the protesters to the National Stadium has failed. And of course, we'll be hearing from some of the protesters to find out what they actually feel about this protest. So tell us, why are you on the streets today?
See, I have every reason to be on the streets today because number one, even after they increase the minimum wage, you cannot afford a bag of rice. You increase minimum wage, if you remove fuel, fuel is high. If you check food, food is high. If you check even to afford what you even need, it's even difficult because if you can see the way the youth are outside now, we are very, very angry. We are upset. Even after everything the government has said, we are still outside. That is to show that we are gallant. In this place, we are ready to do and undo. We are ready to protest the government to hear us.
Okay, but the government has already told you guys to give them more time. How do you receive this message?
Yes! Year in, year out, every government will tell us to give them more time. More time for them to steal, more time for them to embezzle, more time for them to capture money enough to secure their children's future. We don't have much time to give them anymore. We are tired, we are fed up.
Okay. Finally, I'll ask you, have the police been cooperating with the protesters so far? Have there been any sort of altercation or fight between the protesters and the police?
No, not really. That's been going perfectly fine. As you can see, the police are protecting the protesters. So everything is going perfectly fine for now. We don't know about later. Maybe they have plans for later, but for now, we know everything is fine.
Okay. I'll ask you one last question. Is it true that this protest is being sponsored?
How? Can you sponsor the dignity of an African man? Can you sponsor the dignity of a man that is suffering? You cannot do that. We are tired. Our forefathers are at home resting, watching on videos. We the youth, we are here, we are protesting because during their time they could not protest. Shame on them. And even now they are not protesting. Shame on them. We are here, we are protesting. We will protest for our rights.
So you've heard it. The protesters are making their voices heard. They are unhappy. They are not comfortable with what is going on in the country. They say there is hunger in the land. They say there is hardship, and they want the government to listen to them. We'll also be talking to one other protester who would also be giving us his own perspective on some of the issues that have happened there today. So tell us, the court order of yesterday asked the protesters to remain within the precinct of the National Stadium. Why are you marching to the Eagle Square?
Yes, for we to remain at the National Stadium, we think our voice was not be heard because nobody knows we are there. And if we see the Nigeria, the reason why we are protesting today, no institution is working in Nigeria. The security, the agriculture, the education, the healthcare is not working. Imagine the country that have thousands of millions of graduates running around the street. The president, they approved 21 billion for vice presidential residents, 160 million for SUP for senator. These people say they are representing us and we are dying of hunger. Even the minimum wage cannot even buy a bag of rice. What do you expect a hungry man like in Nigeria? As a hungry man in Nigeria, what do you expect us to do? We are for peace. We are not coming to remove President Tinubu. We just want him to hear our voice. He's our father and our grandfather. Let him listen to us. What is so hard that he cannot revert?
The government has actually asked for more time. Why is the youth not heeding to this request to give the government more time to solve your problem?
If you look to his campaign, if you watch his campaign promises, he said, renew hope. And he said, if the government fail, we should blame him. This is 1 year and some months now. The day he was inaugurated, he removed subsidy. That is the day our problem starts. Keep high. Okay, even if you increase the minimum wage, what of the people that are not working? What of the youths that are not working? That we are struggling, moving from there to there to can see food to eat. What do we eat?
When you come back.
What of the unemployment?
Can you hear me? Ebuka, can you hear me?
They will share the rice in the office.
Right. Ebuka, can you hear me?
Thank you. I can hear you, Nancy. I can hear you.
Okay. I want to ask you.
I can hear you.
Yes, this man that you just spoke with now asked a fundamental question that if they increase minimum wage, about those that are not working, and we have millions of Nigerians that are not working. But I would like to ask you what the situation report is. I see that this is a long walk to freedom. That's according to Nelson Mandela's book. You will share some calories today. Did you notice if there are businesses that are open around? I can see that at least on the streets of Abuja. Did you see like filling stations opened, banks opened, businesses opened, and observing perhaps from a distance?
Well, I can tell you that most of the government institutions and private businesses are shut down on the day of this protest, and it appears that they are already aware of what it's going to look like. So that is why the situation is like this. I can tell you, this is the popular B6, B12 and Circle Road. You can also call it the Independent Avenue, where, of course, it's a very strategic access, to the Central Business District. And of course, behind me is the Central Bank of Nigeria headquarters.
Exactly. I noticed that's where you are too.
A lot of CBN staff. This road on a normal day is quite busy, and of course, people are always, making use of this access to do, as an access route to where they are going. But today, it is looking different. A lot of people are not on the street. The only set of people that are making use of this road today are the protesters. You can see them in their vehicles, you can see them walking, you can see them holding their placards, making their voices heard, and they have decided that whatever happens today, the government must listen to them and actually find a solution, a permanent and lasting solution to some of their problems.
Ebuka, one last question before you go, if you can hear me. Ebuka, one last question. There was a court order yesterday that should restrict the protesters to the MKO Stadium here in Abuja. But people are already on the streets, at least around the Central Business District. Are people not observing that?
Well, they actually started from the MKO Abiola National Stadium. They started there. It was quite peaceful until at some point the Commissioner of Police, Ben Igwe, stopped by and, of course, trying to inform the protesters that they must stay within the restricted area. Of course, that is the perimeter around the National Stadium. But few minutes ago, about 30 minutes ago, the protesters decided to march to the Eagle Square. There have been attempts, even when they took off from the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, there have been attempts by security operatives to stop them from proceeding. But, of course, the will of the people, like they say, will always prevail. They actually talked the security operatives into giving them the opportunity to walk down to the Eagle Square. So the security operatives at this point have no choice but to provide protection for them. If the camera can just take you a bit further, you see that the security operatives are actually providing protection for the protesters. A lot of them in their vans, the police, the DSS, the armed military men, providing security for the protesters. Nancy.